Correct. So now in the statements and arguments, option A is only argument 1 is strong. Option B, only argument 2 is strong. C, either 1 or 2 is strong. Option D, 1 is also not strong and 2 is also not strong. E, both of them are absolutely strong. Correct. So, first question, I think so we have already discussed. Should we encourage exports? So we should do it. Option A is correct. That means, yes, we need foreign exchange to pay for our imports. We have discussed that the imports are like petroleum and natural gas that we are taking from the Arab countries or any other countries, right? So that is the statement, and argument 1 is correct. First argument is correct. So option A. Now, second one. Should all the drugs patented and manufactured in Western countries be first tried out on sample basis before giving license for the sale to the general public in India? So this is very much relevant to the present COVID situation, right? The whole world was astonished when India could produce, could do all the necessary tests for COVID vaccine, and it has produced. Yeah, and very proudly, India is able to supply it to different countries also. We should be very, very thankful to all the scientists who were working on it day and night. Usually, they say that at least it takes 2 to 3 years minimum for different trial runs to happen. But as of now, it's just like 1 year where it has seriously affected the people in India. And within 1 year, already in February only, we started with our COVID vaccine. So that's a great achievement. Actually, all over the world, the scientists who are working for it, we should be very, very thankful to all of them for all that hard work that they have done. Right. So here, what are the arguments? First, let us see the arguments here. Yes, many such drugs require different doses and duration for Indian population, and hence it is necessary. No, this is just not feasible and hence cannot be implemented. Yeah, see, and also you need to take care of the local situations also. The kind of immunity that the people over there are having it. So keeping in view of all this, you need to try out the samples and then give the license. Okay, so now, so option A is correct. Yes, different doses should be, should be tested, should be given, and then only it should be done for the Indian population. Though they are manufactured in Western countries, our own country, drug control committee should be there. Like even in USA, you have FDI, Federal Drug Inspection Council is there. So every drug has to pass through the test of FDI, right? So third question, should India make efforts to, I think so this we have done, solar energy, this we have already done. Should there be a students' union in college or university? Why are student unions actually formed in universities? Can you tell? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, why do universities and colleges should have the unions, student unions?
It is important that they learn about how the government works and the politics work from college itself, ma'am. So I guess.
Yeah, even in from the school level itself, you have the head boy, head girl, prefects, all this is what are we teaching from that? That you have maybe have small issues in your school, like disciplinary issues or any other issues, that through the students, like what students are feeling, you should come to know. And also to control the disciplinary issues or to control the discipline all over, discipline in the classrooms and all that. You have a class leader. Similarly, for the school also there is a leader, correct? So now here we are going to, this kind of atmosphere is like an example of the whole country itself. So students are getting trained. How will you solve problems in your school? In the same way you will be applying it. These leadership roles which you are taking up will help you to solve the problems in the country. So definitely, yeah, student unions should be there. Students should, if you go to universities like Delhi University, you will have these student unions who will help out the freshers. Like suppose when I went to Delhi University for the admission to the degree college, so there I went for the BSc admission. So many volunteers were there from various student unions who were telling us where to apply, how to apply in Delhi University, what are the good colleges for BSc, what can you, what are the courses that you can take. There are actually like honors courses, like you can take maths honors, you can take physics honors, or you can take a general one, means maths, physics, chemistry, general, means all three are equally important. So like that, they will give you suggestions. They will give you what are the possible, which college, what is the cutoff mark, where can you apply. All these things very clearly they give the volunteers, give you clear idea. So this helps the fresher to understand which college in Delhi University. There are around 15-20 colleges over there. Which college, according to my marks, where will I get the seat? So with this, what happens, these student unions later, when these seniors are contesting, you will definitely relate to them. Oh, you will feel that, oh, these people will help me out if they have any issues, yeah, in the college. So later you will be voting for them, right? So that kind of preparation from the college during the admissions time itself will definitely give a kind of, yeah, making you feel comfortable in the college atmosphere, right? So what are the two options which are there, arguments which are there? No, this will create a political atmosphere in the campus. Yes, it is very necessary. Students are future political leaders. So here, correct, that kind of yeah, unions should be there. But now at present you can see in Delhi University, it has taken very ugly, the politics have taken an ugly shape, I should say. People like, they are trying to yeah, gundaism, yeah, they are trying to like, create problems in the university. So it is kind of like, and political parties are also influencing the students too much. So actually in those unions, now people who have not passed out from the university for such a long time, like 7 years, 8 years, you have not passed out of the university itself, you're still lying around the colleges. Only such people are taking up things, and that's becoming very, very, even the Kashmir issue, like creating regionalism, creating kind of religious riots, all this the Delhi University getting into, getting involved into. So that's an ugly picture of it, but doing it in the right way will definitely make students better leaders for the future. Correct. Next question. This, what do you feel? Should India give away Kashmir to Pakistan? Kirtana, what do you have to say?
No, ma'am.
No.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
why?
Actually, it's a very rich heritage state which has old culture and all,
Yeah.
and in fact, it protects us, and there are many resources in that.
Yes,
I think
yes.
from in the map also, Jammu and Kashmir looks as a head of the.
Head of, yeah, correct point you have told. Yeah, right, right. Yes.
If it would go to Pakistan, then India would be.
Like it is like, we always keep, in India, we keep it as Bharata Mata, and yeah, and with the flag in her hand, and that portion shows like the head of the Bharat Mata, correct? So it's like, yeah, it looks very awkward, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and not only that, yeah, Pearly, you have something to say?
Ma'am, the same points, ma'am, that it helps in a lot of foreign trade,
Foreign trade,
Kashmir
correct.
with its and also it's the only border between Pakistan and India, and I
Yeah,
think,
even in,
the same
yeah,
points.
yes, yes, same points, correct. Even in, yeah, the American elections also, these things will be discussed. Yeah, yeah, people will say that I am with this, I am with this. Yeah, even Kamala Harris has commented about it, right? Yeah, that if I come to power, I will try to solve the issues in between India and Pakistan. Right. So it has become an international issue. But basically, see, it is Kashmir is thoroughly part of India, and it's the most beautiful place with all the Himalayas, yeah, huge mountains over there. It's so, yeah, rich in, yeah, we are all very much linked to Kashmir. And yeah, we can definitely think that there's a lot of foreign exchange also. Yes, but you cannot, like, this is like your part of your house, you're part of your property. If somebody tries to grab it, you cannot just easily give it off. Correct? Yeah, you cannot see today you will give Kashmir, tomorrow they will ask for Gujarat or Rajasthan. Where is the end for it? Yes. So this kind of issue will not stop over there. Okay, you are yielding to it and you are trying to give off Kashmir to it, but still, it will definitely be affected. Okay, so it's not, no, so let us see the arguments. No, Kashmir is a beautiful state. It earns a lot of foreign exchange for India. It's the pride of the country, you can say, right? Then this would help settle conflicts. Where will it, how will it help settle conflicts? You're trying to give away, the other person will feel that you are very timid, you are yeah, not brave enough to fight with them, so tomorrow they'll try to take something else also from you. Okay, so this is not fair. So option A is correct. Only first argument is strong. Should cottage industries be encouraged in rural areas?
Ma'am, did Jammu and Kashmir become a union territory, or
Yeah,
is
it
it
has
still in
become.
process?
Yeah, in this process, and they have taken the decision now. Article 370. Article 370 has been abolished, and now you can you have the right to purchase any do any purchase of land also over there. Okay. Right. So should cottage industries be? You have something to say, Pearly?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Yeah. Should cottage industries be encouraged? Yes, rural people are creative. B, yes, this would help to solve the problem of unemployment to some extent. Rural, it's not a concept that rural people are creative or urban people are creative. We need to save the artisans. We need to save the, yeah, the quality or the kind of rich culture that we have, rich kind of technology with which these cottage industries are able to yeah, produce yeah, lots of cloth, saris, or it can be like, no, beautiful carpets, Kashmir carpets, Kashmir shawls. Yeah, all these are very much low. So these are all the native things which we should not forget about it. So not that it is creative, it is the problem of unemployment. It is like giving respect to our own people with lots of, yeah, artisans have this talent, no, that talent we are trying to be, yeah, giving respect for. So these should be encouraged. There are lots of governments which are state governments which are like Lepakshi paintings, yeah, arty crafts, dolls, Kalankari paintings. The dolls can be produced. Kondapalli Bommalu antaru. All these dolls can be prepared. Kashmir and all those things has every, like Mysore silk. These are all the native, yeah, artisan rich culture that we have, which we need to always be keeping up. And also, like we should not forget them. We should take care of them. We should solve. It has been told that in the Mughal Empire time, they used to make that fine silk saris that could fit into a matchbox. Our artisans were so very talented that they could, yeah, make a sari which could fit. Lightweight saris, you talk about so many things, right? Yeah, like that it could fit into a matchbox. That creative, our yeah, talented our people are. So we should not forget that rich culture. Should young entrepreneurs be encouraged? Definitely. That's why Make in India programs are there. Skill development centers are there. Correct. So now what are the reasons for this? They will help in industrial development of the country. Very good. At least people will not move out of the country. Yeah. Next, this will reduce the burden on the employment market also. That, see, our country has lots and lots of human power, human resources, that we are rich in human resources. We are providing software to the whole world. We are providing vaccines to the whole world. Means we have that rich, yeah, human resources that we have to. So if we cannot create, if we can create employment, or if we can create business opportunities, entrepreneurship ways to become self-sufficient persons, right? So these kind of unemployed youth, if they are given, you can see in all the states, especially Setwin, there are Lions Club. What they do, they try to teach people, like you can learn carpentry, you can become a small mechanic. They will give you the infrastructure or what are the requirements for a small scale industry. Like suppose you candle making, or ladies who are there, you can teach them stitching. They will have their own earning, no? They will stitch clothes and they will earn money, right? So, or a lady can have 5 or 6 people together with her. All together, they will start with sewing machines. And what they will do, they will try to create their own designs and try to sell it in the market. It's good, no? That girls, ladies, and also people are becoming self-sufficient. So with that, what happens, instead of doing the imports from all other countries, our people themselves will have the employment, and it is very good. So in this particular case, both the statements, both the arguments are true. So option E. Should all the annual exams up to 5th standard be abolished? Arguments, yes. The young students should not be burdened. No, the students will not study seriously, as they will get automatic promotion to the next class. Option E means, but both of them are holding good. But see, in the second one, you should be very carefully underlining it. They will not study seriously. Means this is what is going to happen in National Education Policy 2020. You are not going to conduct written exams for them. Study this lesson, I will conduct a 20 marks test. It's not like that. Give a topic, ask the student, give them sufficient information, ask them to go through it, let them write down their own points, let them have a detailed understanding of it, let them submit a report, or let them write an assignment on that. Let them submit their own project work on that, and give that assessment. It should be a continuous assessment. CBSE has already started. Yeah, continuous comprehensive assessment. Some child may not be very good at doing his test, a written test, but he may be very good at speaking. He may be good at listening skills. He may be good at reading. He may be good at, so he may not be very good at writing. So that diversified kind of examination system has already set in, but with the national education policy, it's going to be change the whole situation for once and for all. Should Indian scientists working abroad be called back to India? First, they must serve the motherland. No, we have enough talent. Let them stay where they want. What is option? Option D. Option D means the first one is you are forcibly asking them to stay here. This is called as brain drain. Means all the top cream of the country is moving away abroad. Correct. So if you provide sufficient, if the government provides sufficient good opportunities to the people who are leaving, definitely they will stay back in India. That is what is the idea of Make in India, trying to NRIs, means non-resident Indians, if we are trying to take their help also. Okay, even if you have gone to your foreign country, you have earned sufficient, invest in India. The NRIs are always, trying to invest in their own country to develop the country. Yes, so we have enough talent. That's not a thing, right? Though we have enough talent, we have full respect to all those people who moved away from our country. Kamala Harris, Indira Nooyi, Sundar Pichai are all these people, right, who moved from our country, but they did not forget their roots. They are still, there with us. They are Indians by heart. Maybe they have the the permanent residentship or the citizenship of that country. Still, they are Indian by heart. Should we scrap the system of formal education beyond graduation? Beyond graduation, usually it is the research kind of study which is there. So when there is research kind of study, how are we going to, research, how can we stop? If research is stopped, what happens? Today, could we create the vaccine? Could we have been successful in this? So let us see the arguments. Yes, it will mean taking employment at an early date. No, it will mean lack of depth of knowledge. You can take according to the new education policy also, your degree 4 years, you can stop it at the first year. You will call it as the certificate program. Suppose if you are doing in computer science, it will be called after the first year due to some situations you are leaving out of college and going for a job. It's called as a certificate in computer science. Or information technology. If you complete 2 years, it's called as a diploma. And if it is 3 years, and if it is all complete 4 years, you call it the full degree, right? So once you need to have post-graduation and research also you need to have, because we need to have the depth of the knowledge, which is very much essential for the research based. The economy of the country is also based on the research which is happening in the country, correct? So that's why it's very, very important. Option argument 2 is correct. So that's why it is no, option B is the correct answer. Should there be an upper limit of 65 years for contesting for parliamentary or legislative assembly elections? Arguments I will read out. Yes, generally people above 65 lose their dynamism. No, the lifespan is so increased that people remain physically and mentally active even up to the age of 80. Now option D. Why? Because even in BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, you will observe that there are senior leaders like L.K. Advani. Previously it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. These are all the senior leaders who worked so hard to build up that party. But now They are all in the advisory committee of the party. They cannot actively, they may not be physically actively taking part in the day-to-day politics or day-to-day matters, but definitely the party will take the essence or take the advice from those party leaders, senior party leaders. So we can say that neither option 1, argument 1 nor argument 2 are fully correct. So it's option D. Should new big industries be started in Mumbai? Mumbai itself is a cosmopolitan city where you're traveling from one place to another place is so tiresome. The properties, very small houses are also very, very expensive, correct? So it's happening like that, but still, what are the arguments? Let us read. Yes, it will create job opportunities. 2, no, it will further add to the pollution of the city. Yes, more industries means more pollution. So definitely it's going to be, adding to the pollution of the country, for pollution of the city, and it will create job opportunities. That is also, so either 1 or 2. Argument 1, yes, it will definitely create job opportunities. More and more people are moving to the cities for job opportunities only, for their livelihood only. So it's the busiest place. Mumbai is called as the busiest place where people travel from. When you talk about Mumbai, you will come across these dabbawalas. Have you heard about them? Dabbawalas?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
Yashwini or Pearly has heard about it?
No, ma'am.
Dabba wala, yeah, ma'am.
Yeah? You have heard?
Yes, ma'am, I've heard that word, like, dabba wala.
Yeah, dabbawala. You, one second, Yashwini. Dabbawala, they are, what they do is, their job is, they will collect, like you're going to office. Your office is some 30 kilometers away from your house, correct? Only in the suburban areas, what you should say, your house rent would be less. So you have taken a house which is 30 kilometers away from your workplace. So what you do, you have to travel 30 kilometers. So you may start off to work at about 6 o'clock in the morning. You have to take up 2 metro trains. You have to change 2 places, and then you will reach your office by maybe 9 o'clock, like that. Right? It will take some more than 2 hours. Correct? But suppose for your mother to prepare the food at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning is very difficult. So what these dabbawalas have started is, they collect the homemade food from your house at around 10 o'clock or 10:30. They will take it from your house, and by lunch break they will drop it in your office. Again, after the lunch break, they will again collect your lunch box and drop it at home. At least you don't have to carry it, isn't it? So this technology which is there in these many years, they have been more than I think so 70 years they are there. These dabbawalas are there, and even till now, not even a single time that the food didn't reach the person or the wrong dabba reached the person. There is one movie also, Dabbawala movie is also there. Yeah, it has not happened. So the IIMs, the Indian Institute of Managements, have approached them. The Dabbawala interview I will share with all of you. He has done, he has done an interview where what is the technology? They on the dabbas, they will have to, all these people now will carry it on the top. So there is a kind of a cart type, like no one long board they will put on their head and keep all the dabbas on that, and they will carry it from one place to another place. They will have a common junction point. From there, like how your courier goes, no, from the manufacturer to the Amazon office, Yes, head office, and then to your, like Bangalore, if it is there, Bangalore office, Amazon office, it comes, and then it reaches to your house, right? In the same way, these dabbas will reach the person. So Indian Institute of Management people also have approached them. How? And they are all illiterates. Basically, they are all illiterates who are there. So it is not at all, possible that they make a note of it or they do some computerized, entries. Nothing. They make the, symbols. Means if it is going towards Malad West, so M, and then the number. By that only, like how you have the pin code, they make the markings like that, and it reaches the person. So this is the story of Dabbawalas. I will share one video also along with it, so that you'll have a better understanding. So does India, is this over? Yeah. Should high chimneys be installed in industries? Yes, it reduces pollution at the ground level. No, it increases pollution in the upper atmosphere. We are not living in the upper atmosphere, correct? So ground level, this level, if the pollution reduces, it's enough. So option, the first argument is correct, and option A is correct. Next, does India need so many plans for development? Yeah, in our classes itself, we have learned, in our classes itself, we have learned that these industries, the pollution is happening, and like no, it's causing a lot of troubles. Yeah, there are a lot of breathing problems for the people and all that we have understood, right? So it cannot, if it is at a higher level, at least it will, it's causing smog. Yeah, lots of in places like Delhi in the winter seasons. We have learned more about it, right? So the first option, that is argument 1 is correct. So option A is correct. And we have learned about, does India need so many plans for development? Nothing can be achieved without proper planning. Too much time, money, and energy is wasted on planning. These planning commissions are very, very important. In the planning commission, first planning commission, the focus was on agriculture. Now we are able to produce enough food for ourselves, means it is what Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and his team in the first, they were called as 5-year plans. So they used to plan for 5 years. The first 5-year plan was basically concentrating on agriculture. They got a revolution. Amma?
5-year plan.
5-year plans.
5 seeds.
You have?
Green Revolution, ma'am.
Green Revolution. Yeah, so the way they have, Jawaharlal Nehru has brought technologies from Russia. At that time, Russia was very close to, very, very, very much friendly to India. So lots of technology they have taken from them, and they have.
5 years plan is from Russia, ma'am. 5 years plan. 5 years plan.
5 years plan
is from Russia, ma'am.
No, 5-year plans India will make, but they took the technology and all. First 5-year plan focus was on agriculture. Second 5-year plan, it was on industry. That is how this all huge industries have come up. It's less than 1 minute, children. I will end the session and I will start once again. Please join again.